Radioactive places are very dangerous, but you know which are the most radioactive places in the world. In this video, you will know the most radioactive places in the world. Chernobyl, Ukraine. The 1986 Chernobyl nuclear disaster made the region around the nuclear power plant highly contaminated. Chernobyl, a city in Ukraine, became known as the site of the worst nuclear disaster in history. On April 26, 1986, there was an explosion and fire at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant during a safety test, releasing a large amount of radioactive material. The disaster resulted in serious consequences for human health and led to the displacement of thousands of people. A radioactive cloud spread across the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, carrying dangerous radioactive particles. An exclusion zone of approximately 30 kilometers was established around the plant, and this area has remained uninhabited since then, with the exception of authorized workers and tourists. The disaster had a significant impact on the health of those affected by radiation, with an increase in cases of cancer, especially thyroid cancer, and other health problems related to radiation exposure. Today, Chernobyl is a popular tourist destination, with visitors interested in learning about the nuclear disaster. The site is also the subject of scientific studies into the effects of radiation on wildlife and the environment. The television series Chernobyl, released in 2019, brought new global attention to the disaster and its aftermath. Fukushima, Japan. Following the 2011 earthquake and tsunami, an accident occurred at the Fukushima nuclear power plant caused by radiation leaks. Fukushima is a city located in the northeast region of Japan and became known worldwide due to the nuclear disaster that occurred in March 2011. The Fukushima disaster was caused by a magnitude 9 earthquake, followed by a large-scale tsunami, which resulted in faults in the cooling system of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The tsunami causes the flooding of the plant's facilities, leading to loss of electrical power and failure in the cooling systems of the nuclear reactors. As a consequence, various toxic effects, radiation release, and hydrogen explosions occurred. The Fukushima disaster resulted in a significant release of radioactive material into the environment. Areas surrounding the plant were evaluated and a 20 kilometers exclusion zone around the plant was established. Thousands of people have been displaced and there are still restrictions on access in certain areas. The disaster had a considerable impact on the region's health and economy. Although the number of deaths directly attributed to radiation is low, many workers involved in managing the crisis were exposed to radiation. There have also been concerns about cancer risk related to chronic radiation exposure. After the accident, prolonged efforts were made to decontaminate the area and ensure nuclear safety. Continuous radiation monitoring measures and the decommissioning of damaged reactors are underway. The Fukushima disaster brought up issues related to the safety of power plants, generating debates about the use of this energy source around the world. The event also led to an increase in awareness of the need for stricter safety measures and chemical disaster response protocols. Maiak Island, Russia. This island, located in the Techa River, was home to secret nuclear facilities and was a radioactive waste disposal site. Maiak Island, located in the Techa River in Russia, is known to be a site associated with nuclear activities and radioactive contamination. The island was used as part of a secret nuclear complex during the Soviet era. Between 1948 and 1956, the Maiak plant on Maiak Island was responsible for processing nuclear material to produce plutonium and other substances. During this period, there were several accidents and leaks of radioactive waste, contaminating the Techa River and adjacent areas. Local people were exposed to high levels of radiation, often without their knowledge, and faced serious health problems as a result. Radioactive contamination has also affected the region's wildlife and environment. Contamination on Maiak Island was kept a secret by the Soviet government for many years. Only in 1957, a nuclear accident at another nearby facility, known as the KYSHTYM disaster, brought international attention to the situation. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, decontamination efforts and security measures were implemented in the area. However, Maiak Island is still considered a place with significant radiation levels and restricted access. The Maiak Island disasters served as a reminder of the dangers associated with nuclear activities and the need for safe management of radioactive waste. It also highlights the importance of transparency and proper disclosure of information related to nuclear safety to protect human health and the environment. Palomares, Spain. In 1966, there was an air crash that resulted in the dispersal of nuclear warheads and plutonium in the region of Palomares. Palomares is a small town located in the Almeria region in southeastern Spain. The city became known due to an incident that occurred in 1966, involving the fall of nuclear bombs from the United States. On January 17, 1966, a U.S. Air Force B-52G bomber collided with a tanker plane during an aerial refueling mission over the Mediterranean Sea. As a result of the accident, 4 plutonium nuclear bombs were dropped into the air. 3 of the bombs landed in the Palomares region, while the 4th fell into the sea several miles from shore. Fortunately, the nuclear warheads did not detonate, but radioactive material was scattered on the ground and in the sea. Spanish and American authorities conducted a cleanup operation to recover the bombs and clean up the contaminated area. This involved removing the contaminated soil and transporting it to the United States for safe disposal. However, despite cleanup efforts, some radioactive waste remained in the ground and continues to be monitored to this day. Radioactive contamination was also found in some people who were involved in the cleanup operation. Over the years, the Palomares incident has been the subject of continuous study and monitoring to assess the effects of radiation on human health and the environment. It has also led to an increased awareness of nuclear safety and the need for preventive measures to avoid accidents and radioactive leaks. Today, Palomares is known as a tourist site, attracting visitors interested in learning about the history of the incident and its historical importance in the context of the Cold War and concerns about nuclear weapons. The contaminated area is also the subject of scientific studies to better understand the impacts of radiation and develop adequate protection measures. Sellafield, UK. This nuclear facility has been the scene of a series of incidents and accidents that resulted in releases of radioactive material. Sellafield is a nuclear facility located on the northwest coast of England in the United Kingdom. Originally known as Windscale, the plant was established in the 1940s to support the British nuclear program. The Sellafield facility played an important role in producing plutonium for nuclear weapons during the Cold War. It was also used for the generation of nuclear energy, with the operation of nuclear reactors. However, over the years, Sellafield has become known for a number of issues relating to nuclear waste safety and management. There were some notable incidents at the facility, including a 1957 fire at the Windscale reactor, which resulted in a significant release of radioactive material into the atmosphere. In addition, Sellafield has been the focus of concerns about improper disposal of radioactive waste. The facility has accumulated large amounts of radioactive material, including spent nuclear fuel and other nuclear debris. Significant efforts were made to remedy the problems at Sellafield. Measures have been implemented to improve safety and waste management, including the development of adequate storage facilities and reactor decommissioning programs. However, the thorough cleaning and decontamination of Sellafield is an ongoing challenge. The area continues to be closely monitored, and concern for the safety and proper management of nuclear waste remains. Sellafield represents an example of how improper management of nuclear facilities can lead to environmental and public health issues. Sellafield's case emphasizes the importance of safe and rigorous practices in the nuclear industry, as well as the responsible management of nuclear waste to protect the environment and people's health. So these were the most radioactive places in the world. Comment below which of these places you found the most radioactive. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like and turn on the notification bell to receive when I have new videos. Until next time.